Hello, and how are you? Guess what? I'm a little early today, so it's actually still light out, and so hopefully the lighting is better because, lighting issues seems to be a constant in my filming life. But other than that, the cleaner is here and he's cleaning the back deck because we've got people coming on Monday, uh, friends and colleagues of hubby who are visiting from overseas, and they're holidaying in our region. And we actually live in wine country and like in a tourist area, so a lot of people actually come here to holiday, and which is nice because then we get a lot of friends and people who come and visit, and they're coming to the house, so the back deck needs a little bit of a wash, and so he's just out there with the power washer on the back deck. So if you hear noise, that's what it is. A little bit of an intro because I always take absolutely forever before I actually get into the crux of the video. I've had a bit of a week. A very, very dear friend of ours passed on, and it was just such an incredible shock because we had just spent some time with them the week before, and these things happen, and it was just very shocking, and I was very emotional, and I had meant to film a whole bunch of videos because we were away, and when we came home I had a whole bunch of things I wanted to do. But then that happened, and then there was a slight accident with the car. Everything's fine. It was just a tail light that needed to be fixed. And then I had a book come in from a client, and I had to get started on content edits, and there's just a lot of stuff. And at the back of my mind, I was thinking, I have all these things I want to film because, I kind of jot down ideas of things that I decide I just want to carry on and ramble about for however long I decide to ramble on for. And well, that kind of didn't happen. And so I talked about last week filming a declutter of my Middle Eastern perfumes. I need to do that. I still need to do that. I will do that. I have taken photos. I think I've done that much. So I need to film that, and then I need to get them listed on my pre-loved site. And in the meantime, while we were away, I stopped into a friend's house because he had been away, and he came home from Florence, and I said, hey, if you're in Florence, you need to visit Bois 1920. And Bois 1920 is a perfume house. It's been around since 1920, originally started by the grandfather or the great-grandfather, and now I think the grandsons or the great-grandsons run it. It's a family perfumery, and it's got a long, beautiful history of how they've survived, and through the World War, and all that sort of stuff. So I was, pretty excited about that. It's quite underrated, actually, as a perfume house, and it doesn't get talked about a lot. There's one particular perfume that gets talked about a lot, but that's pretty much it. And I said, hey, if you're there, stop in and have a look because it's beautiful. And we all need friends like this, came back with a little something for me. And I'm very excited because I have the bag as well. And it's beautiful. And so I've got full bottles, which I'm not going to open because I also have samples of everything. And the reason I'm not going to open the full bottles is because if I decide I want to flip them, because they're rare here in Australia, I would be able to do that. So I'm just going to show you, and then I will talk about them. And I will talk about the full bottles because I have the samples, and I'll do a first impression. But then I'll quickly kind of flip through the others that I have a sample of, and you know, if anyone's interested, I'll do subsequent videos of them as well. So this is the Profumo di Firenze. I'm sorry, I don't speak Italian, so my pronunciation could be way off. Line, and I have all three of the line, and I can't hold three. I'll see if I can hold three. And so you can see it's still in the plastic, but I've got all three. So there's Latte e Mandorla, Buontalenti, and Fior di Pane. So they're all eau de parfums, and they are all 100 mils, and this is what they are. I'll just show you, because I am a little bit prepared this time, what they look like. And that's what the bottle looks like, and I will talk through the notes as well. So that's the bottle. And then I'm gonna just drop this on the floor next to me. I got this little beautiful, look at this box. Oh, it's gorgeous. And in the box, I have no idea what my friend did or what he said to them, but he managed to get them to throw in a sample of every single perfume in the house in their collection. So obviously I've got the 3 from the Profumo di Firenze line. And then there are the ones from the Bois 1920 line. So there's Cannabis, Oro 1920, Ultramare, pardon pronunciation, and Sacre e Profano. So these are from the Bois 1920 line. Did I get all of them? Oh, one more. Centenario, which I assume means like 100 years or 100 something. I don't know. I'll have to look it up, because obviously I don't speak Italian. I speak a lot of other languages, but Italian is not one of them. And then there's this other line too, but I don't know what it's actually called. But there are 6 of these, and there's the XXV Marzo, which 25th of March, maybe that means that's a 25. Obscuros, Viandante, Peccatum, Matilda, and Niveus. I'm guessing some of this might be Latin, so I don't know. Like I said, I don't speak Italian or Latin. My brother actually studied Latin in school, so he could probably tell me. And then it actually comes with this little pamphlet, which is adorable. And that gives me a little bit of information on like everything. Okay. Well, I didn't get everything. I've got most of it. Ooh, that Duro Cafe. I would have liked that, because I'm just a big sucker for coffee. Top note is coffee, sugar. The hot note is damask roast, dark chocolate, vanilla, and the dry down is amber and patchouli. Oh, everything about this one sounds amazing. So I need to study this And then I need to find out who else is going to Florence, because I might need to get my hands on this. But, you know, it's perfume. It's not a biggie. So, that's what I have. And it's very, very exciting. So today, I thought what I would do is I will try these three that I do have the big bottles of, and I'll do a first impression. And I will start with Buontalenti, which is the most popular one that I hear talked about all the time. And this one is considered to be sweet, fruity, caramel, vanilla, coconut. Caramel I don't love, we know this, but vanilla and coconut I do love. So I'm excited about this. The notes are banana, apricot, peach, and red fruits, coconut, vanilla, raspberry, cookie, toffee, caramel, and musk. It sounds very, very gourmand, which is a whole thing right now because, you know, everybody just is really into the gourmand sense. So let's start with that. A fragrance guided by the multi-faceted opulence of vanilla, where notes of peach and apricot underline its genuineness. A soft and sinuous something. I do not know what. There should probably be something after a soft and sinuous, but I don't know it's a soft and sinuous what. So if anybody from Bois 1920, which is highly unlikely, is watching, can you please fix that? See, in the Italian, it actually is a full sentence, which obviously I do not understand and read. It's something about an inspiration that continues to be vivacious, and I don't know what morbidezza or morbidezza means. So I can kind of guess some Italian words because I speak French and Spanish. I'm learning Portuguese at the moment, which is completely throwing me off because there's this word in Portuguese, tangent, called, which is hi, not hello, but hi, which is oi, which is very funny because in Chinese, in Cantonese, when you go oi, it's not very polite, okay? It's kind of like, hey, you, dude, whatever, but it's not a polite kind of, hey, you. It's like, you know, but in Portuguese, it's like, hi, hello, you know, oi. But in Chinese, we go, oi. So I kind of have to remember to say oi when I'm speaking Portuguese differently from when I'm speaking Chinese, which just cracks me the heck up. Anyway, tangent. All right. Buontalenti. Right. Oh yeah. You can definitely smell the peach. Oh, it's very fresh, but it's also slightly sweet. I can get the vanilla from the sweetness from the vanilla. There's a little bit of tartness from the raspberry. Yes, can definitely smell the banana. The coconut is now starting to come through. I'll need to come back to it after it settles for a while to see if I can smell the cookie, the toffee, the caramel, and the musk. So, but on first sniff, yes, I can see where the gourmand lovers will enjoy this and that they would like this. So definitely a plus there. Okay, so the next one, which doesn't get talked about much, the other two don't get talked about much at all, is Latte e Mandorlo and Fior di Pane. I'm going to start with Latte e Mandorlo because that's just what's up on my screen. That's what that looks like. The bottles all look the same. I do enjoy the simplicity of the bottle, I have to admit. I mean, really fancy bottles are nice too, but I do like a simple bottle too. Oh, and this is simple. Almond, milk, almond and milk, 2 notes, rose, anise, patchouli, and musk. So it's going to be a little bit like tonic. The almond will give it that almondy, amaretto type scent. Not a lot of people like almond because sometimes it can be a bit medicinal. I'm not sure about the rose in the heart note because I'm not a big fan of rose and scents, but it depends on how strong it is. So I will hold off on my opinion on that. And then patchouli I like. Patchouli kind of gives it like a bit of spice and interest, and I've recently discovered that I actually really enjoy patchouli. So Latte e Mandorlo, here we go. Oh wow, wow, it's spicy and floral. The rose is very soft, but the patchouli and the musk really come through. I'm not smelling anything like tonic or yes, I can smell the almond, but it's coming through as a little bit like medicinal, more on the amaretto medicinal side of the almond rather than the nutty sweet almond, if that makes sense. There's a lot of rose. The rose is really starting to come through now, but it's not an overpowering rose. It's a very sweet rose, and I think the patchouli does kind of ground it a little bit for me. I'm not sure how I feel about this. I think you have to like a sweet floral scent to like this one. Let's have a look and see what the note says. A harmonious olfactory symphony thanks to the delicate combination of milk and almond that captures the senses with its creamy sweetness. Rose and anise. Ah, it's the anise, which is like licoricey. Yeah, I can smell that. That's coming through. So I'm getting that anise and that almond combination that's giving it almost like a slightly bitter, medicinal, herbal kind of smell, but it's very faint. And it's very well blended. It's still very floral. Add a romantic and sensual touch to the fragrance, surrounding us in a light and comfortable caress. It's soft, and it's not overpowering, and it's not obnoxious, which I like. I like that it's not obnoxious. I can see where if I'm in a little bit of a flirty mood, or, you know, it's a bright spring day, but not a very, very hot day, this will work. And it'll be a good, light, soft date night perfume on a cooler, not cold and not hot, but on a cooler evening. So I would say kind of like late summer, spring kind of a scent, and very pretty, very, very pretty. It's a very pretty scent, but you have to like floral, and you have to like rose, and you have to like that little hint of medicinalness from the anise and the patchouli. I don't get much of the lactonic and the nutty almond, because I think the rose and the heart note's very strong. So maybe somebody with a better nose than mine might be able to smell it. But if you're looking for something that's almond or that's lactonic, I don't think this is it. Finally, Fior di Pane. I think pane means bread, but let's have a look. Yeah, so the top notes include bread, violet leaves, bergamot. So with violet leaves, violets, you get sort of like this a powderiness. I don't know about violet leaves. Bergamot will give you freshness, but I don't know what that will do with the bread note. Iris, again, floral, powdery. Cypriol oil, I don't know. Tulip, orange blossom, so you've got your florals there. Cedar, vanilla, tonka bean, vetiver, musk, so quite a woody base. So that's going to be really interesting, because I have recently, and part of the reason I'm parting with some of my Middle Eastern scents is because Middle Eastern woods or ouds, oh, they are just doing my head in right now. And I don't know if I'll ever come back from it. So, but I think that might have something to do with the fact that they're Middle Eastern perfumes as well. And sometimes with some Middle Eastern perfumes, they can be a little bit iffy. Okay, not gonna lie there. But yes, Deanna, you've gone off on a tangent. Let's reel it back in. Okay. I have to spray a bit more with these little vials, because not much comes out of them. Okay, I'm getting that herbaceousness, I think, from the violet leaves, and the freshness from the bergamot. I can, and the cypriol oil. I want to see what that is. See, it's a earthy, aromatic, woody fragrance. Yeah. So cypriol oil, that's right here. You're basically getting woods and mosses. So that's what you're getting. And what am I smelling here? Yep. So this is definitely unisex, leaning masculine. The Latte e Mandorlo is definitely very feminine leaning, and obviously the Buontalenti is very gourmand, very sweet. So very fresh, very herbal, very woody, green, mossy, but very refined and not overpowering. I'm not a big fan of green scents. My favorite, I think, green fresh scent would be Byredo's Bal d'Afrique, but that's very citrusy, and it's got a lot of vetiver in it, and I do like that. This has vetiver in the base as well, which might be why I like it. And it's got cedar in it, and hubby actually uses a cedar based shaving oil, which I really enjoy. Well, I make it for him. So I think that might kind of lend to the fact that I'm familiar with those notes and those scents. So as a result, I actually like this. I'm not sure if I will wear it. I think I can wear it. I will wear it in the summertime. It's definitely to me, it would be a summer fragrance. And I actually so far am liking this. So if I were to rank these based on first impressions, Buontalenti would be the one I like the best right off the bat, because sweet, gourmand, blah blah, you know, that kind of thing, and I'm really into that. Always have been. This one would be my second one, the Fior di Pane. Is it? Yeah, Fior di Pane. I don't smell any bread. but I think it's there, just really well blended, so that it just takes the greenness now down a notch, so that it's quite like a lot more approachable, and it doesn't make it like full on, bang on masculine, you know, unlike, for example, Supernova by Aaron Terrence Hughes. That's like really masculine and really, really fresh, and like, you know, a guy would wear that. I could see myself wearing this one. And I think it's because of the iris and the tulip and the orange blossom in the heart notes as well. Now, let me read their little blurby thing. Through the delicacy of violet, tulip, iris, and vanilla, Fior di Pane evokes the smell of freshly baked bread, creating a pleasant sensation of comfort and serenity. It is a unique composition that goes back in time, awakening childhood memories and the simplicity of small gestures. I didn't smell the bread, but I can get hints of the bread in that it is softening the greenness and the freshness of what could be quite a masculine scent. So that's kind of what I'm getting. And mind you, these are all first impressions, okay? I've only just started smelling them, but this is kind of where I'm at with them. I said I was going to come back to Buontalenti because I wanted to see if I got any of the coconut later on. A little bit. I'm getting a little bit of the coconut. It's not a very, very coconut tea fragrance. I think the coconut is just sitting really nicely in the background. It's blending into everything else, and it's just softening everything and giving it like a slightly sweet, creamy, lactonic note that's sort of like more coconut milk type scent as opposed to like milk. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense? Yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at with this. I'm not getting like a lot of cookie, toffee, caramel, musk. And I think my impression of all these three perfumes is that they're all really well blended. So unless you've got a really, really well-trained nose and you've got a really good nose, you're not going to pick out the individual notes on them right off the bat. It's just this beautiful, well-blended, sophisticated scent that's just going to give you this vibe that's really, really lovely. So yeah, first impressions, I really like what I've smelled. I need to play with this a little bit more. I'm kind of hoping that as things calm down a little bit, that I will get a chance to really dive into them and wear them a lot more, and then, you know, see how I go. Like I said, if you want me to talk about any of these others, let me know, and I'm happy to do another video for them. I'll probably end up only doing like 3 per video, because I know I've had some tangents here and some introductory things, but this video is already 29 minutes. You know, it's already a half-hour long video. So I don't want, you know, if I don't want to go through 20, I don't know how many I have, like 10 or 12 perfumes, because it's overwhelming. And I personally don't like to watch those videos where it's like, here's 300 whatever, so you don't have to buy it because I've bought it and I'm telling you about them. Because for one thing, that's just a lot to keep track of, and for another, that's a long video. That's a really long video, and you can't go in depth. And you know me, I like to talk. I like to go in depth. I like to be able to break things down and talk through things. So probably we'll only do 3 or 4 at a time and keep them long because, you know, me, long, rambly, but condensed in such a way where it's focused and it's targeted and you know what you're getting, and you're not getting, here's everything from this house. I mean, imagine if somebody did that. I think there is a video out there where somebody did, I've tried every Tom Ford perfume so you don't have to. That was a long video. And I kind of just played it in the background while listening to the guy just ramble on perfume after perfume. And he didn't spend, you know, that much time on each one. So, and perfume is so personal. I can tell you what I think, and I can describe it to you in terms of what vibe and what impressions and visualizations I get out of it, or what visuals and imagery I get out of it. But until you actually experience it yourself, it's not, you're just not going to be able to really know. For example, there's a very hyped up perfume. I'll talk about it another day, but I got a decant of it because I was not going to spend, I don't know what it is, like $450 a bottle. So, you know, I got a tiny little vial of it. And I'm really glad I only got a vial because that stuff is stanky. It stank. Oh, I did not like it at all. Yes, I'm kind of glad I didn't spend all that money because it was really hyped up. People really loved it. And oh my God, it smells exactly like this, blah, blah, blah. And I, you know, hype. And yeah, I just should know, if anything is hyped, I should just stay far away from it, because me and hype in my work life, in my reading life, in clearly in perfume, and me and hype are just not friends, because my tastes are just too different. And maybe because I'm old, you know, and a lot of this hype stuff is driven by teenagers whose tastes are just very, very different from mine, because I'm 53 and I just don't like as much of what a teenager would like, you know? So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Thank you so much for watching this. I really appreciate your time. If you got this far, leave a loaf of bread in honor of the Fior di Pane, because that's the only thing I really remember after all that rambling. And thank you. Do the YouTube-y stuff, you know, like, subscribe, comment, yada, yada. I really appreciate it. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye.